Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to study about the concept of elastic IP addresses in context with EC2 instances, right? So let us see what we are going to study through this video. First of all, we will be having a general introduction of IP and IP addresses. Then we will be understanding the problem with the IP address, the public IP address of an EC2 instance. And then we will be understanding how we can create the IP addresses, that is the elastic static IP addresses, and then how we can associate them with our EC2 instances. And finally, we will be seeing how we can release those IP addresses, right? So without wasting time, let's first have an introduction of what do we really understand by an IP. So the internet protocol is the method or the protocol by which the data is sent from one computer to another over internet. An IP address is a part of this protocol only. It acts as an identifier for a particular machine in a network, right? So if we need to identify ourselves, for example, if we belong to a class, so we have a particular roll number, right? And that is unique. Same as that, in order to identify our computers over internet, we assign them with unique identification numbers, which under the head of IP, that is the protocol known as IP addresses. Now it is a part of the scheme, of course, to identify computers over internet, right? So we have two versions of IP addresses, or the two variations of it, that is IPv4 and IPv6. But in this particular video, we will be sticking ourselves to IPv4. Now talking about IPv4, it is the fourth development of the internet protocol, and it is the most widely used protocol at present. And talking about it is a system of addresses, and these addresses are of 32 bits, and how they look alike, that we will be going to study in our hands-on. And we have around 2 raised to the power 32 combinations of such IP addresses, but these IP addresses are not enough, right? Because nowadays each and every device is internet enabled. Even your smartphones, your tablets, even the IoT devices that are being developed are internet enabled right now, right? So in order to identify them, we have to assign these addresses to them. So these addresses are actually being exhausted, right? Because of that, we have a sixth development, that is the IPv6, which uses the hexadecimal values. This is the binary format. It has 32 bits. The address is divided into four parts, and each of one is having, of 8 bits of address, so it is 32-bit addresses, right? How they look like, we will be seeing them in the hands-on session. The detail of the IP addresses and the networking we will be covering when we will be doing our hands-on on VPC. So this is a very general introduction in which I just wanted to tell that yes, there are two types of addresses in the heading of IP addresses, that is the public IP and the private IP that is associated with our EC2 instances when they are created, right? So the public IP addresses are global. They are unique because because we use them to identify our EC2 instances over internet. And the other category is the private IP address, which I think I have explained over here also, the private IP addresses, which are used to identify our systems in local networks, right? So in our context, we will be talking about the AWS inner networking, right? So they will be using the private IP addresses. The concept of private and the public IP addresses arrived because of the limit of the IP addresses, right? IPv4 addresses were limited with us, right? So actually what was happening, that if we made all the addresses unique, the addresses were going, we were running out of addresses very fast because of the frequent development of internet enabled devices. So the introduction of private IP addresses was that in two different or isolated networks, we can have same IP addresses. So the private IP addresses are not unique, but of course the public one are global, so they are unique. So we have these private IP addresses range So on your screen you can see a particular way of representing IP addresses. So these in writing they write them with the decimal value separated by dots, but we can actually convert them into binary and represent it into 32 bits also. So these are the ranges of the private IP addresses, and you can see the IPs for the big networks, the default AWS range, and for the home networks as well. Coming to the concept of elastic IP. An elastic IP address is a static IPv4 address designed for dynamic cloud computing. Now, what was the issue of we having our EC2 instances with public IP? Right? We have done a lot of hands-on till now, and we have seen when I installed an Apache web server, I used the public IP of my EC2 instance and paste it into my URL, and when I clicked over, I can see or visualize the HTML page or the test page of our Apache web server. But the issue of the public IP address associated with the EC2 instance is that the public IP get vanished when you stop your EC2 instance, right? And when you restart it, there is a new IP address, new public IP address, which is assigned to your EC2 instance, right? So every single time when you use the DNS, that is when you actually use the domain name service or the domain name system for your website or your HTML page, that will be an issue because the IP address with which you have mapped your DNS name will get vanished away, and a new IP address will be associated with your EC2 instance. So the issue is that the public IP associated with our EC2 instance is not static, right? It keeps on changing, and that is the issue. Now, in order to cater that particular issue, what we came up with is the concept of your elastic IP, which is nothing but a static IPv4 address. Right. So an elastic IP address is allocated to your AWS account, and it is yours until you release it. By using an elastic IP address, you can mask the failure of an instance. Of course, when the instance is failed, that means you have to restart, or you have to create a new instance at that point of time, or your software by rapidly remapping the address to the another instance in your account. Alternatively, you can specify the elastic IP address in a DNS record of your domain so that your domain points to your instance every single time. So that is the issue which we studied right now associated with our EC2 instances. So we came up with the concept of elastic IP. Now there are certain important points of elastic IP addresses that you need to remember. That is, when you associate your instance with the elastic IP, there is no charge, right? But it is charged hourly if it is not associated with an instance or the instance is stopped. Another thing, you can also associate your elastic IP with the network interfaces, and if it is not and if it is not associated with an instance or a network interface, then you will be charged on the hourly basis. An elastic IP address is static and it does not change over the time, that we have seen. An elastic IP address is used in a specific region only, and it cannot be moved to a different region. That is one thing very important. And elastic IP addresses have limits. By default, all AWS accounts are limited to have 5 elastic IP addresses per region, because the public IPv4 addresses are scarce in public resources, right? So we have a limit of 5 elastic IPs per region in an account, right? So without wasting any time, let us understand, because I do not want to focus more on theory. The theory lectures will be taken care of separately. So now I am in the AWS Management Console, and for looking about the IP addresses or the elastic IP, what we will be doing is we will be creating a new EC2 instance with Apache Web Server installed on it. And why I am again installing the Apache Web Server, that is you will be seeing in the hands-on. So what I'm doing, I'm just installing an Linux 2 AMI over my EC2 instance with T2 micro as the instance type, because we will be being in the free tier. And in the user data section, I am just again copying the script of installing Apache Web Server. This you have already seen in our previous videos as well, right? So just copy it and paste it here. right? And yep. So storage I do not require. Tag yes, name, and the name will be this time demo elastic IP, right? Security group, because I have installed the Apache web server, so I will be requiring port 80 along with 22. So SSH, HTTP and HTTP are allowed, and I'm just launching my EC2 instance with my existing key pair, that is my Linux key. So now I have quickly launched an EC2 instance, right? And if I go to this particular ID of my instance ID and click over it, now you can see that even if the status is pending, that means the instance is actually being created. I have assigned with a public IP address, that is 204.236.209 and 245 to my EC2 instance, right? So you can see that I have a public IPv4 address, which is a 32-bit address. I have told you before also, and we just in order to make it easier to understand, we denoted with the help of decimal number separated by dot. And I have also got a private IP address. We have seen in our the slides that the private range of the default AWS addresses is 172.16.00 to 172.31 to 255.255. So this is one of the address picked from that particular pool. So you can see that now the instance is running, and I have just copied this public IP address, and I'm just checking that whether the Apache web server has been installed properly or not, right? So you can see that the test page over here is installed properly, and what I'm going to do is I will be just copying my IP address over here, and this is my first IP, which I public IP, which I got when my EC2 instances actually created, right? So what I'm going to do over here is I will be going to instance state, and I'm just stopping my EC2 instance. And you can see while I am stopping my EC2 instance, this public IP address will be vanished now, right? So if I click it over here, and if I will be seeing after successfully stopping my EC2 instance, this public IP should now get changed when I restart it, right? So it is stopping right now, and you can see as the instance is actually stopped successfully, right? The instance is stopped successfully, and you can see that the private IP address is intact, but the public IPv4 and the public IPv4 DNS both got vanished as the instance state become stopped, right? Now what if I used this public IP address to denote my website, right? You know that the domain names are mapped to the IP addresses. Now if I mapped my abcd.com name to this IP address, then every single time whenever there will be a resolution of the address resolution will takes place, I will be checked against this IP if I register it, right? Now if I stop my EC2 instances, or anyhow if there is a failure, then there will be an issue because the IP address will be gone, right? So now let me check that whether I will be assigned a new IP address to my EC2 instance when I actually start it or not. So now I have started my instance again, and it is coming back to the pending state, and after some time this instance will be in the running state address for it. And now you can see as it is coming to the running state, right? And I have again assigned a new public IP address, right? The instance is in the running state, and this, if I will be copying it over here and paste it in here, now this is my second IP which I got when I restarted my instance, right? So let me just go to the URL and now just change this IP address, and if I refresh it, I again get my test page over here. That is, I have assigned a new public IP address to that instance only on which I have installed my Apache server. But yes, you can see that this is an issue which is associated with my EC2 instances public IP addresses. Next thing which let us check, if we reboot our instance, right? So I'm confirming the reboot. Let us see if this public IP address can sustain when we reboot our EC2 instance, right? So just refresh it. Let me just clear all these tabs and so the public IP address is actually retained when you reboot your EC2 instance. See, even after the rebooting, the the IP didn't change. So the IP changes when you actually stop and restart your instances. It is sustained when you reboot your instances, right? So that is the thing. But yes, if anyhow your EC2 instance gets stopped, then you will be losing your public IP address. So what you will be doing over here is, you can see that the elastic IP addresses is blank right now. So in the left hand side, if you go to network and security, you can click on elastic IPs and you can see that right now I didn't have any elastic IP in my account, right? So no elastic IP in this region. So what I can do, I can click on allocate IP, and remember that these IP addresses are chargeable, so you may cost a little amount. So network border group, it's okay. Public IP address pool from the Amazon pool, they will be selecting one static IP address and associating it with your EC2 instances. Tags is optional, so I'm not adding any tag over here, and I am just allocating a new static IP address that is here, which is allocated to my account right now, and this is the IP. But this IP address is right now not associated with any instance, right? So it is not associated with any instance right now. So what I'm going to do is, I will be going to actions and I will be clicking on associate elastic IP address, right? Because I have to associate this elastic IP with my instance or to the network interface. Right now we are dealing with EC2 instances, so I will be keep it checked for instances. For instance name, I have demo elastic IP running, right? For the private IP, choose the private IP of my EC2 instances and I will be clicking on associate, right? So right now what I am doing, I am associating my elastic IP with my EC2 instance, and you can see that the associated instance ID is coming over here. So now if I go back to my instance, right, and if I refresh it, the just selecting my EC2 instance, now you can see that the public IP, that is the elastic IP which we have associated with my instance, is now being visible. So now if I copy this particular elastic IP, paste it over here because we need it for the references, and this is the elastic IP, right? This is the elastic IP, right? So now if I go to the test page and if I paste my elastic IP over here and if I refresh it, you can see that the test page is, still visible, right? Now, that is, we can actually access our website or the data on our EC2 instances through this elastic IP. Now what I'm going to do is, I am again going to stop this EC2 instance, right? So the EC2 instance is now being stopped, right? So after some time, as we have seen that our public IP should, get vanished, but we should have retained our elastic IP. So let us see. So now the instance is stopping. If we check our instance over here, the instance is successfully stopped, and you can see the elastic IP is 35.153 and the public IP is 35.153.806, right? So even if we have stopped the instance, the IP address associated with my EC2 instance will be the same as of my elastic IP. Now, and you can see when you restart your instance, right? When you start your instance, so the instance state is pending right now, and after some time it will be coming to the running state. And even now you can see that after restarting again my EC2 instance, the public IP is retained as it is, right? So that is the beauty of elastic IP, because we have seen that the public IP get changed over the time, the elastic IP gets static. So now, when you do not require an elastic IP, then you have to actually remove or release it from your region. So for that, we will be going back to our elastic IP tab, right? So do not delete your instance, right? There is no need to delete your instance. You need to go to the action, right? Click on disassociate elastic IP. So right now you are disassociating your elastic IP address from your EC2 instance, and now it has been disassociated successfully. And after you have disassociated, you have to release your IP address, because a disassociated IP will be costing money. So I am just releasing this IP addresses back to the pool. So now I do not have any elastic IP address into my region, right? So if you have released your elastic IP address once, you have a chance to recover it, and for that you can use AWS APIs or the command line tools. But yes, this is something which is out of scope for this particular video. And that was all with the elastic IP addresses in context of EC2 instances, and the detail of IP addresses and the subnetting we will be seeing in the section when we will be doing our VPC, right? That is virtual private cloud. I hope you enjoyed this video, and for more such videos and information about AWS, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.